Today our topic is the importance of self-reflection in Stoicism. Stoicism is an ancient philosophy that teaches us how to live a good life by focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. One of the most important practices in Stoicism is self-reflection. This means taking time to think about our actions, thoughts, and emotions, and learning from them. Self-reflection helps us grow as individuals, make better decisions, and live more peacefully. It is a tool for understanding ourselves and the world around us, and it is essential for anyone who wants to follow the Stoic way of life. Let's start by understanding why self-reflection matters. In our daily lives, we often act without thinking. We react to situations based on habits, emotions, or impulses. This can lead to mistakes, regrets, and unnecessary suffering. Stoics believe that by reflecting on our actions, we can gain control over our lives. Self-reflection allows us to pause and ask ourselves important questions. Why did I act that way? Was it the right thing to do? Could I have handled the situation better? These questions help us learn from our experiences and improve ourselves. Without self-reflection, we are like a ship without a compass, drifting aimlessly and unable to reach our destination. Self-reflection is also important because it helps us align our actions with our values. Stoicism teaches us to live according to virtue, which means being wise, courageous, just, and disciplined. But how do we know if we are living virtuously? The answer lies in self-reflection. By examining our actions, we can see whether they match our values. For example, if we value kindness, we can ask ourselves, was I kind to others today? If we value honesty, we can reflect on whether we told the truth in difficult situations. Self-reflection helps us stay true to our principles and avoid hypocrisy. It reminds us that living a good life is not about what we say, but about what we do. Another reason self-reflection is important is that it helps us deal with negative emotions. Stoics believe that many of our problems come from within. We often suffer not because of what happens to us, but because of how we react to it. For example, if someone insults us, we might feel angry or hurt. But Stoics would say that the insult itself is not the problem. The problem is our reaction to it. Self-reflection allows us to examine our emotions and understand why we feel the way we do. By doing this, we can learn to control our reactions and avoid unnecessary suffering. Instead of being ruled by anger, fear, or sadness, we can choose to respond with calmness and reason. Self-reflection also helps us appreciate what we have. In today's world, it is easy to focus on what we lack. We often compare ourselves to others and feel jealous or dissatisfied. But Stoics remind us that true happiness comes from within. By reflecting on our lives, we can see how much we already have and be grateful for it. For example, we can think about our health, our relationships, or the opportunities we have. Gratitude is a powerful tool for finding peace and contentment. It shifts our focus from what we don't have to what we do have, and this change in perspective can make a big difference in our lives. Now that we understand why self-reflection is important, let's talk about how to practice it. The Stoics had several methods for self-reflection, and we can still use these methods today. One of the most common practices is journaling. This means writing down your thoughts, feelings, and experiences at the end of each day. You can ask yourself questions like, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? What did I learn? Journaling helps you organize your thoughts and gain clarity. It also allows you to track your progress over time. By looking back at your journal, you can see how far you've come and what areas still need improvement. Another method for self-reflection is meditation. This doesn't have to be complicated or mystical. It simply means taking a few minutes each day to sit quietly and you can focus on your breath, or you can reflect on a specific question or idea. For example, you might ask yourself, what is truly important in life? How can I be more patient or understanding? Meditation helps you clear your mind and gain insight into yourself. It is a way of stepping back from the busyness of life and finding inner peace. A third method is to practice mindfulness. This means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. When you are mindful, you are fully aware of what is happening right now, both inside and outside of you. For example, if you are eating, you focus on the taste, texture, and smell of the food. If you are talking to someone, you listen carefully and give them your full attention. Mindfulness helps you become more aware of your thoughts and emotions, and this awareness is the first step towards self-reflection. By being present, you can catch yourself before you react impulsively and choose a better response. Self-reflection also involves learning from others. Stoics believe that we can gain wisdom by observing the actions of others, both good and bad. For example, if someone behaves kindly, we can reflect on how their actions align with Stoic values and try to emulate them. If someone behaves selfishly, we can reflect on the consequences of their actions and avoid making the same mistakes. Learning from others is a form of self-improvement. It reminds us that we are not alone in our journey, and that we can benefit from the experiences of those around us. Finally, self-reflection requires honesty and humility. It is not always easy to look at ourselves honestly, especially when we make mistakes. But Stoics believe that true growth comes from acknowledging our flaws and working to improve them. This requires humility, which means recognizing that we are not perfect, and that we always have room to grow. Humility allows us to accept feedback from others and learn from our failures. It is a key part of self-reflection and a cornerstone of the Stoic philosophy. In conclusion, self-reflection is a powerful tool for living a meaningful and fulfilling life. It helps us understand ourselves, align our actions with our values, and deal with negative emotions. It teaches us to be grateful for what we have and to learn from our experiences. By practicing self-reflection through journaling, meditation, mindfulness, and learning from others, we can grow as individuals and live more peacefully. Self-reflection is not always easy, but it is worth the effort. As the Stoics remind us, the most important journey is the one within. By looking inward and reflecting on our lives, we can find the wisdom, courage, and strength to face whatever challenges come our way. So take a moment today to pause, reflect, and ask yourself, am I living the life I want to live? Am I being the person I want to be? The answers to these questions can guide you on your path to a better life.